All right, all these sons have been blessed in Genesis chapter 49, and now Jacob has some other business. It says in verse 28, these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father said as he told his sons goodbye. He blessed each one with an appropriate message. And now some of these messages that he sends to them, these prophecies that he talks about to them, can still be kind of cloudy and hard for us to understand in some ways. I think we'll fully understand all of these things once we reach the end of the age, once we're in that end time return of Christ kind of time frame. We'll see and understand some of these. But Jacob continues in verse 29. He says, then Jacob instructed them, soon I will die and join my ancestors. Bury me with my father and grandfather in the cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite. This is the cave in the field of Machpelah, near Mamre in Canaan, that Abraham bought from Ephron the Hittite as a permanent burial site. There Abraham and his wife Sarah are buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah are buried. And there I buried Leah. It is the plot of land in the cave that my grandfather Abraham bought from the Hittites. So he says, soon I will die and join my ancestors. So I think for Jacob here, he was confident that his ancestors lived on. He believed he would be joined back with Abraham and Isaac. So this is for him a statement of his eternity and that this life was not all there was. And he does request to be buried with his father and his grandfather. Jacob was in Egypt, but he understood something really important. His home was not in Egypt. Egypt was not the place where he was from. He was from the land that God had promised to his grandfather Abraham, that had been passed to Isaac, passed to him, and now he was passing that to his sons. And so he wanted to be buried there. He wanted to be buried in the land of promise, in this cave that his grandfather Abraham had purchased. It was the only land that he had owned in the promised land during his lifetime, Abraham. But he wanted this burial place for his family. It makes perfect sense. Because Jacob trusted in the promises of God, he didn't want to be buried in Egypt. He wanted to be taken back to the promised land, to be buried in the land where he knew at some point his ancestors would return to possess the land. See, it's his way of saying he trusts God. Bury me in the place that you promised, because I believe you will give it. Shows great faith. It's a great example to us to trust in the promises of our God. And we'll talk more about God's promises another day. See you soon.